That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, I am very excited to record this video because it seems like I've made about 4 or 5 of these by now, and every video I go, oh, sorry guys, I got that one wrong. Sorry guys, I got that one wrong. I'll own up to it there. But this video, this is the one where I get to run victory laps around. I get to say that I told you so, so I get to tell you all that. Hey, I mean, I was really right. Y'all should have listened to me. I'm right all the time. But regardless, we know that's not we know that's not the case. We're going to be right some, we're going to be wrong some. And this is the video where, guys, I really hope that I actually got some really nice messages through YouTube. A ton of comments saying, Mason, thank you so much for telling me to do this in the live stream. Thank you so much for making a video about this. Really helped out my team. And guys, I mean, those are my absolute favorite comments, because if I know I went out there and actually did something that made a difference for y'all, I mean, guys, there is no better of a compliment than that. And before we get into these players, please, guys, I just want to thank everyone for going out there and making us the fastest growing fantasy football channel on YouTube. Y'all are doing that by liking the videos. Y'all are doing that by leaving comments. Y'all are doing that by subscribing to the channel. And because of this, I am going to continue live streaming every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and Sunday mornings. So it's just going to be nonstop. I'm going to be answering as many of your fantasy football questions as I can. So make sure you come through and hang out. I actually have a new live stream setup that I'm extremely excited for y'all to see. But now let's get into our first player. I mean, guys, I wish you would have gone out there. I hope you went out there and traded for him whenever I told y'all to before last week kicked off. And now it's going to cost you a lot more if you did not. CeeDee Lamb. Okay, CeeDee Lamb, yes, by no means did he go out there and win anyone their fantasy football week. But we know, I mean, this is a rookie wide receiver. It's going to take him some time to come on. And especially in a year that we do not have the preseason, we actually do not even have the normal training camp time that a lot of these players are used to. And I think that's the main reason that we are seeing all of these players drop like flies. But regardless, with CeeDee Lamb, I mean, despite all the odds of him not necessarily having a perfect setup to go in there and absolutely dominate early on in the season, we were able to identify his usage in week 1. We saw that he was ready to take on a significant role in this Cowboys offense. And we knew out of our pre-draft evaluations of CeeDee Lamb that we did this offseason that CeeDee Lamb was an elite wide receiver prospect. And as soon as he got the opportunity, he was going to be extremely productive. And that's exactly what happened in week 2 against an extremely soft defense with the Atlanta Falcons. CeeDee Lamb went out there, caught 6 balls, went over 100 yards. And yes, I know he did not score a touchdown, but if he scored a touchdown, he would be just a complete game changer in your fantasy football lineup. I still hope you started him. I did go out there and tell a ton of people to start him during the live streams. And guys, I mean, this call worked off. And if CeeDee Lamb is already getting this production, if he's already getting this type of volume early on this season, I mean, it's week 2. It's week 2. Usually CeeDee Lamb would have 3 or 4 preseason games to really get acclimated to the NFL. And he's just jumping in right now and already performing well. I think that we could see a very similar type thing that we saw with A.J. Brown in 2019, where A.J. Brown went out there his rookie year and down the stretch, I mean, he won people fantasy football championships. And I think CeeDee Lamb is looking like he's playing every role in that this year. Now, guys, this feels good. Y'all know my number 1 and number 2 buys going into 2020 were 1, Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, that is to be determined on how that's working out. But our number 2 guy that we were going out there and aggressively drafting and trading for was Calvin Ridley. And now Calvin Ridley comes in. I know a lot of people are just saying, oh, okay, I mean, week 1, he got in the shootout with the Seattle Seahawks. We can't expect this every single week. But he comes in and says, guys, I don't care what y'all are saying. I'm just going to go up there, put up 7 receptions over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns, and I'm going to continue. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but are there any wide receivers in fantasy at the moment that are outscoring Calvin Ridley? I find it very hard to believe after his first 2-week performances that he is not the number 1 wide receiver overall, maybe behind a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, but still. I mean, he's going out there and he is just putting up elite level production. It is a little concerning to see that Julio Jones is just kind of, I mean, he's lost. I mean, we do not understand where he is in this offense. I know he has been dealing with a hamstring, but if you watch that game, I mean, he was on the field. He had a role. He just wasn't commanding targets, and he was not turning the targets that he did command into a good amount of yards or even receptions at all. So I think that maybe it may be just a smidge early, but I think it's definitely in the range of outcomes and definitely something that we should look to discuss over the coming weeks. But maybe Calvin Ridley is just the new Atlanta Falcons wide receiver 1. And I know I was a little quick to anoint Paris Campbell, the wide receiver 1 in Indianapolis, over T.Y. Hilton. I still stand by, if Paris Campbell did not get injured, we think we would see him leading that team in targets, leading that team in production. And I think there could be a very similar thing happening right now in Atlanta with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. Now our next player, guys, I know I sound like I am just nonstop saying that I got everything right this week. Y'all know very well, if you watch the other videos, I owned up to some stuff that I got wrong. But this one was another one I got right. Everyone was just asking me in the live stream, Mason, should we start DK Metcalf? Should we worry about Stephon Gilmore? And I was saying, guys, no. DK Metcalf is not the player that you want to worry about a cornerback matchup with, because he does not run a full route tree. He does not win with route running. What he wins with is size and athleticism and timing with Russell Wilson. And those, I mean, you can try your best to defend against that combination, but really there's only so much you can do. You can't go out there and shut down a wide receiver like DK Metcalf. And I mean, we saw DK Metcalf just completely eat in what appeared to be a very tough matchup. I mean, 4 receptions, 92 yards, and a touchdown is something that is fantastic for DK Metcalf and his outlook going forward. And this game could have been bigger. I mean, if Russell Wilson threw a couple of those, I mean, what did he have, 5 touchdowns? If he threw another one that way towards DK Metcalf instead of a bunch of random bench players, I mean, we could be looking at just DK Metcalf being a matchup winner in week 2. He still definitely went out there and contributed a ton of fantasy points for your starting lineup. I don't know if he did enough to just completely win the week right out for you like a guy like Aaron Jones. But regardless, I mean, DK Metcalf, I mean, it's only going up from here. This is a year 2 player that is just progressing every single time he gets on the field. And I can't wait to see what the limit is for him. All right, this is not a player that I can go out there and run victory laps around, but it's someone that we should go out there and maybe he's a little bit under the radar in terms of people not necessarily thinking his fantasy value should be rising a ton at the moment. But N'Keal Harry, I mean, N'Keal Harry, yes, he didn't score a touchdown. He didn't put up a ton of fantasy production, but he went out there. He got 8 receptions, over 70 yards. And I mean, that's good for about 15 fantasy points. And if he did have that touchdown, I mean, he would be in that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 range. But what was most important about N'Keal Harry was just the fact that he was finally able to go out there, get on the field. He was able to get a high percentage of this team's snaps. I think that in some shallower leagues, if he's on the waiver wire, you should confidently be going out there, placing bids for him. I mean, there are a ton of wide receivers that you probably have on your roster that are not necessarily the same talent level as N'Keal Harry, and they don't have the same ceiling that N'Keal Harry has. The only thing that we have to worry about in this offense is how many times are they going to go out there and have Cam Newton just slinging the ball around. I don't think it lasts forever, but I think that we should take advantage, and we should know that if the New England Patriots are going up against a team that they're going to have to try to keep up with scoring-wise, N'Keal Harry could be a good play in our starting lineup. If they go up against the Jets, they go up against the Miami Dolphins, where we know that the New England Patriots are just going to be able to be conservative and run the ball to win the game. I think we keep N'Keal Harry on our bench, but yeah, N'Keal Harry definitely worth a roster spot. Last player we are going to talk about, another guy I want to run victory laps around. This is one of the guys that so many people commented saying, thank you, Mason, for telling me to start him, but Stephon Diggs. I mean, 8 receptions, over 150 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, what else are you looking for in an alpha wide receiver? He plays with a quarterback that does not care. He's going to sling the ball deep. Stephon Diggs is the best deep ball wide receiver in terms of gaining separation down the field. In terms of any advanced analytic that you look at, I think that we see Stephon Diggs just being such an impact player, not only by his fantasy production that he's put up through 2 weeks, but also, I mean, go over there. Go look at the Minnesota Vikings offense. Go look at the Buffalo Bills offense. I mean, just unbelievable what we saw the Minnesota Vikings turn into from 2019 to 2020, and likewise with the Buffalo Bills from 2019 to 2020. So Stephon Diggs, not only a great NFL wide receiver, but he looks like he's going to be able to go out there and he's still going to be able to provide you a ton of fantasy production. And I know he had 2 solid matchups in week 1 and week 2. We actually saw Byron Jones for the Miami Dolphins go down in the first quarter, which definitely did help Stephon Diggs this matchup. But regardless, I mean, this is an alpha wide receiver that is looking like he's going to be a must start every single week. Now, thanks guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed the video. And if y'all did and y'all want to come in, hang out during the live streams, just know we are going to be live streaming every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday mornings. So there's going to be a ton of opportunity for you to come hang out. I really appreciate everyone that has decided to support the channel. Y'all can tell that the quality of the videos have drastically improved, And that's 100% because of y'all. That has nothing to do with me. Y'all have made the donations. Y'all have allowed me to go out there and invest those donations into better equipment for this, the videos, and as well as you will see for the stream. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Really hope y'all have a great day, and wishing you the best in your fantasy matchup in week 3.